everybody, what's up? So today we are going to fix maybe a small thing. I don't know. I do see it from time to time, but it is a the fill animation for buckets of all kinds, pretty much. So you know when you put things in a bucket, there is the material actually shows up in that bucket. Sometimes those don't show up, but today we will figure that out. Pretty much how to fix it. So I've done it before, but I want to walk you through how we fix that in this particular one. So we got our trusty Caterpillar M315F. I have fixed some of the buckets on it before, but we're gonna walk you through the process of doing that today. I think everything will go smoothly, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so I have 3 of the buckets that came with this particular machine. I have one bucket that I've worked on before, and I got the fill working. The fill plane, that is. But it still needs a few more things to be fully complete. All right. So let me get these off the trailer here, and then we'll go ahead and get to work. Okay, so we need some stuff to pick up with these. I think the quickest thing, the fastest thing I can show you. Let's just get some wheat, because you know that's always the easiest thing to get to. Let's see. Let's get 25,000 liters of wheat. We'll spawn that, tip it to the ground right there, and I'll show you guys exactly what we're talking about. So these are the fill planes. And I'll actually show you this view. That might not be the best. But you see that? How that goes in the bucket there? Yep. And when you pour it out, it comes out of the bucket. So that's the stuff that we're trying to fix today. Well, not for this particular one. This one works because I worked on it before. Now, let's show you an example of something that doesn't work. We'll put this bucket right here. And we'll get, I believe this bucket doesn't work. I need it for my next Let's Play episode. I didn't even realize that, I didn't fix it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut off the collisions. Yeah, you can tell there's nothing in the bucket, but in our bottom corner down, let me show you. Oops, not that. But down here, it's actually showing that there's wheat in the bucket. Technically, there is for the game, but it doesn't show. So once we pour it out, you'll see it. All right, let me pull up Giant's editor, and I will show you what we do to fix that type of thing. The easy way, and I'll also show you the long method of how to fix that also. All right, be right back. Okay, we just pulled up Giant's editor. That is the bucket you might just realize from the game right there. So we need to figure out why when you fill it up with stuff, it's not showing up. So all that stuff is dealing with a couple of things actually. So let me expand all these. I'm going to collapse all of them, then I'm going to expand all of them. And the biggest thing you want to look for is the fill volume. That, my friends, is what all the magic happens when you fill up stuff in a bucket. Now, there's an easy way and a hard way to do this, to fix this particular issue. I'm going to show you guys the easy way, and I'll show you the longer version in case you need something custom specific, or you gotta just do something that you can't use the easy method for. But let's show you the real easy method first. Okay, what I'm gonna do let me cut on, actually, let me slow down a little bit, my navigation a little bit so we can see here. Good. All right, so I'm gonna cut off the local and the home mode so we can pull this out a little bit so you can see it. So that looks just like something that would fit in the bucket, right? And the visibility is checked on, but if you go under shape, you'll see that it is non-renderable, excuse me. Oof, been a long day. So when you do that, when you click that on, you can actually see the shape of it. If you don't see it, if you want to see it, you can also come back here and click visibility. Sometimes that'll make it show up too. But in a nutshell, this thing isn't filling like you want it to feel. So how do we do that? Now, the easy method is very simple. We're going to copy a mod, if you will, and import the same thing that's already working. Give me 1 second. Let me show you. Okay, back in the game, let us get some equipment that shows that fill area working. Actually, I just got the JCB. It just released not that long ago. This JCB Excavator. We'll use that because it is a really good one. I did modify it a little bit to fit my specific needs, but I'm going to show you guys this thing. So let's go down to JCB. Where are the... Okay, JCB's Excavator. Now this is the original JCB 220X, and I'm going to use the original, even though I have my own modified, slightly modified version. I tell you what, actually, I like my control setup, my schema for controls better, so I'm going to use that because I can operate it a little better. That's usually what I do with these things. But we'll get this. But that's not the key thing we're looking for. We're actually looking at this trenching bucket. This bucket has that fill plane working as we expected. So we got everything here. We'll jump in here and I'll show you this working really quickly. Pop that on there. And this does not have the remove collisions, but it will work just fine. So we dig that up. You see that there? That is working beautifully. We pour it out. Good to go. All right, so now we're going to go back into Giant's editor and show you what is going on there. So let me pull up that particular bucket and I'll show you in 1 second what we do. Okay, so just pulled up the JCB bucket and it is looking great. It's right here. Now, if we go back into fill volume, I keep calling it fill plane, but fill volume, because it is a volume. That's what we're looking for right there. Now, the reason I'm picking this one is because of a couple things. It's very similar in the shape we need. So let me cut off this so I can pull it out a little bit and see it. And we'll do that trick again with making it visible. So it's a very similar shape to what we're looking for, right? And it's easily editable in Giant's editor. So we can do a few things with it to make it fit in our bucket. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it back to where it was, hit Control Z a few times. And what we're going to do, we're going to export it. Let's see, export. I clicked on it. I'm going to say export selection. And what we're going to do, we're going to put it in here as, I'm going to say fill volume from JCB. Something easy that you can remember. Typically, I don't like to add spaces in there, but it's going to get renamed anyway and keep the same naming convention. I'm just doing that for the video purposes. I'm going to hit save. So what we're going to do now, we're going to import that thing we just exported in this file. And we got to put it right there. So tree, where you put it in here due to the index paths, that's like a specific address for where you put anything in these designs. So we have to put it in the exact same spot and make sure everything's linked up right? So let's do file. We're going to say import. And we just call that fill volume for the JCB. Boom. Now, let me go ahead and get my shape right and make this renderable. It doesn't look exactly right, but we can easily fix that. Now, there are some things you can do here to adjust this, right? So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to actually do that precisely. So we come in here. If you click on that green area, you can see we're rotating about the Y over here. So easily what you can do there, we're going to say, what, 180? Boom. This flips it around. Simple math. Whoa, math for the win. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to drag a couple of the shape's parameters, mostly like the length, width, and height, to make it look closer to what our shape is that we're going to be replacing this with. So you just got to kind of eyeball it. You don't have to have it exact. But I'm going to get as closely laid into this as I can. I think it's going to be a good match. That looks pretty good right there. I want to take this out a little bit on the sides a little bit more, like that. Okay, I need to bring in the back a little bit because it's sticking out the butt side of that. So we're going to take that up. And what we're going to do, we're going to bring it up, bring it back a little bit. That's looking pretty good. I could fiddle with this all day to make it perfect, but I'm just doing this quickly for the video purposes here. So I think that got most of it. So you just don't want to make sure you don't see any of it outside of there. Not like the bottom I have sticking out there. So we have to fix that. Let's see. I got to make sure this is selected. We'll bring that down and we'll bring it up just a little bit. All right, for all intents and purposes, that's pretty close. That top part is not looking the greatest. But we'll bring it down a little bit there. Just want to make sure everything looks like it's in the bucket. And what I'll also do, I'm going to rotate it just a wee bit along there, just a wee bit. That's pretty good. Yeah, I am a bit of a perfectionist, so I could mess with this all day, but I think it's good to illustrate the purposes of what we're doing. So make sure you get it exactly how you want to. Spend as much time as you like doing that, but it's going to work for, I think, what we need for it in today's video. So what we need to do now is move it so you can use your middle mouse button, or you can control, copy, paste, however you want to do it. But I usually use my middle mouse button, drag it up here, put it under the volume you want to get rid of. Now you have to be careful here. This is where some of the magic comes in. The old one, which is invisible still right now, we're going to delete that one. We don't need that one, because if we leave that one in there, a couple things are going to happen. That addressing is going to mess up every single thing in this address tree. So all these other things that we need to stay the same. So the easiest thing, just highlight it, delete it, and you're good to go, right? Boom, easy peasy. Okay, now back to this. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go to shape. We're gonna make that non-renderable. And I think that is everything we need to do outside of getting some of the things in the file correct. All right, so now let me save this and we'll pull up the game and we'll see what happens so far with everything. And that's the only thing is, in this case, they had everything set up in the the XML for the fill plane to work. Fill volume. I'm talking about fill planes with another program because it's very similar. But let's see if that gets everything working. Let me pull up here. I'm gonna jump in this right here. Oh, I need to reset this. I think I saved it. We'll do a full reload and a reset. Let's see if that got some stuff working. Cut on a few lights here. There we go. And it's just that easy. All right, perfect. Now, the fill volume won't give you that pouring animation that, let's show you in the file if I can here. Okay, so this is the grain effect, and I'm going to show you that. We're going to make that visible. So that is literally that little pouring animation that you want to saw. I typically kind of change these a little bit so that they kind of follow the angle of the bottom of the bucket here. So I usually do that a little bit anyway. Something like that. Yeah, kind of just pouring over the lip a little bit there, but that works good. So if you're missing that, you won't see the stuff coming out of the bucket. You'll see the stuff in the bucket with the fill volume, but you won't see it coming out of the bucket unless you get the grain effect. That is the final little piece for that. So we'll go back and make that non-visible again. All right, so I'm gonna show you one other little caveat. Let me save this. And hopefully it might be the last little piece if you're running into this issue. So we're gonna pull up the game again. All right, let's see. So it worked for wheat, but let's say, well, I got some invisible stuff there, excuse me. Yeah, I'm running over some invisible stuff. Okay, so let's go and tip something on the ground specifically, like, not that, let's go here. Something like grass might do it, or chaff. I think chaff is a good indicator of that. So we got 10,000 liters of chaff. Let me see if this pours correctly. Pretty much some of the grass type things. Nope, that's working. Let's see. Chaff works. Wood chips, I think, might be. Let's try that. If it's not wood chips, then I know for certain that... I think TMR might. Let's try it. But we'll put 5,000 of those. What we're looking for now are broken textures. So the grass worked. Wood chips, that works. And TMR, that's not working. That's perfectly what I was looking for. Okay. So in this case, we have TMR, and we're wondering, well, it does not pour out. But I clearly see it for all these other fill types. So the fill volume works. The animation and the area that shows the pouring stuff works. What is the deal here? Why is this not working? Well, let me skedaddle back over into the file and show you exactly why that's not the case. Okay, so you said I tried that. I didn't see the stuff being poured out. What's going on? Like, it shows for some stuff, but it doesn't show for some other things. So TMR is a perfect example. That's when you need to go to Emitter Shape. That is also something that we need to take into consideration. Now, this is a very easy thing to miss because it's like one little thing that you need to check. And if you go under Shape and you hit CPU Mesh, and that's dealing with some of the calculations and whatnot, that will let you pour TMR and some other things, typically like woody, earthy type things, where it has that weird looking kind of, looks like bushy texture, I guess best way I can explain it. But I'll show you in a second here. So remember, CPU Mesh, check that. We're going to save it. We're going to go back to the game. I'm going to reload this equipment here. I think I can just do a simple reload. Let's do that. Not a reload and a reset. So we got some lights so you can see a little bit better. But I also have broken textures now. But that does work. That's part of the problem. Fixed anyway. And the last part of the problem, I'm going to go into the XML and fix that. And I want to get that angle a little bit better on that, but that's for another day. I'm trying to get this so you guys can show. So we got that kind of fixed. You can see that it's not the right texture, but that's how you get it to show. Now, last little part, let's go into the XML for our bucket and fix up one more thing. Okay, so what we have here, we have our XML for the bucket. It's named Baldy03. I don't know. Okay, but I think all of this is in a different, I think French language. So I just had to kind of figure some of that out. At the end of the day, the folder structure is the same. So I can, you know, this structure is the same, so we can figure out that. So what we need to go down into is dischargeable. So it kind of makes sense, right? We're discharging those things. That's that discharge node that we just saw. So I think this one may be set up with the another mod, perhaps. I can't remember the name of it. Would you have the active ground that you can actually dig into? Things of that. You connoisseurs of Farming Simulator will definitely know. Sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head right now. So what I have now, I have the other file pulled up that I worked on to fix this. So in this particular case, you want to make sure that the effect nodes are exactly as seen right here. Now you can find that in some other buckets that you, let's say you go to some of the base game buckets, you can find these and just copy that exact code and put it in where you need it to go. Now, like I said, this is the first bucket that I fixed in the same pack. So easy peasy to fix, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this one and this one. It's dealing with that emitter shape and the grain effect. Those are the things that we were just working with. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go here. I'm going to cut these two off. These two lines of code. I'm going to say toggle, single line comment, makes them null. And we're going to paste that right in there. Easy peasy. That generally has worked for everything I've done it for. So just look for that, or you can, if you want to, let me zoom in here so you can see that little bit of code. If you want to use that, so you can see, pause it, write it exactly like that. But like I said, just use an existing file in the game and you can find it. We're going to save that. And we're going to go back into the game. We're going to reload this again and see if that fixes our last little issue. Now I do have some stuff on. Yep. That lets me move this without cranking up the engine. But as you can tell, the textures are right now. So we have fixed all of our bucket problems. And I've done like a very abbreviated version of, trying to make sure the fill is right and all that stuff. And I think that is going to cover everything. So like I said, I think this will still Terraform. That's what it's called. This might still work with Terraform. I'm not 100% sure. I think I've tried it before a long time ago. But I think with those modifications, it still works with Terraform. Don't quote me on that. But it still works with the base mechanics of the game and allows you to pour out stuff and fixes those little volumes like that. Now, let me show you the long way really quickly. It will assume that you have some experience with Blender, but I'll try to give you as much information to kind of look into it. This is really just one of the quick ways to do it because I didn't see anybody do this. So I just wanted to share that little bit of information with you. Now, the longer, harder way. I had to use that for this bucket, which works. I don't think I fixed everything on that bucket, but let me show you. Because there's nothing like it anywhere, I had to still figure it out. So this bucket has quite a strange shape to it, as you can tell. But now it does have all the fill, and I think I got to fix a couple more things. I even changed like a few shapes to make sure it all works. So yeah, that one works. Now let me show you how to get unique shapes that you probably haven't seen done. All right, be right back. Hey everybody, welcome to Blender. So this is the program that you can edit 3D shapes in. and do some really cool design stuff if you're interested in 3D. So there's a ton of YouTube stuff if you want to figure all that stuff out. But particularly today, we're talking about fill shapes. Now that weird bucket that we just saw, you'll kind of notice this shape right here. That is the shape that I had to finagle, if you will, to get to work. As you can tell, it's a very unique shape, but there's a couple things to actually make it work. Now, when I was trying to figure all this stuff out, I designed a ton of buckets. I can show you the list. Like I probably went through anywhere from 24 to 30 buckets. And I was just like, what am I doing wrong? The biggest thing, if you're using this particular program and you're working to make a fill shape, is you have to use an i3D add-on. And if you look over here on the right side of my screen, you can see down here, it says fill volume. So that is the key. Let me make sure my screen shows everything here. There we go. So if you look down here, that is that tool that you need right there. Now, what I'll do, I'll link this in there so you can see it. A couple of things you need to do: make sure CPU mesh is on, fill volume. So this is very intermediate / advanced. But if you're having that same issue I did when trying to create your own custom fill, you'll need this tool. That tool, let me show you. So you go into edit and you go into preferences. These are all the add-ons that you have. I'm going to type in i3D because it is, I think it's the i3D unofficial Giants i3D exporter tools. If I click on that, it has a link that I can show you in 1 second. I'll pull up that link and I'll actually link it in the bottom and I'll show you what that looks like coming up very soon. 1 second. All right, everybody, here we are. We're at the website. Now I'll add the this link here in the description so you can click on it, open it up right to this page. What you want to go to, actually I don't even have the latest. I think I have 4.1. You go over to the releases section and you download either the source code or you can download this file right here and you install it into Blender. There's a way to do that in Blender, plenty of YouTube things, but if you want me to show you how to do that, I can. But like I said, this is more intermediate advanced type of walkthrough. Now, that tool we needed was in here, right? So let's go back to that particular tool. So that is the tool that you need right here. I'll prove it by going back into, do I have that still up? And go into preferences and I'll disable that and enable that. So as you can see, it popped back up. That is what you need. If you hover over it, it's probably hard to see, but check this. If the object is meant to be a fill volume, since it requires special renaming or naming of the indexed triangle set in the i3D file. I don't know how to do that manually. This tool makes it easy. Trust me, just get the tool. Save you a lot of headache. But awesome stuff. Glad I think I saw a few things online. I think it was the Shy Wizard. I think he said a post about, use this tool to do that. So thank that person. But if you ran into that same issue, that's how you fix it. And this is how you can get all the cool, weird fill volumes that you want. Now, I'll give you another alternative because I like alternatives. And let's show you one more thing. So we're back into this file. Let's say you have a simple shape, like a trailer or something. There are primitive shapes that Giants Editor can make for you. And you just go into create primitives. Let's say it's a cube, right? All these have those triangle set ID3, all that stuff set up in these, and you can edit them, drag them, make them pretty much any shape that you want within the primitive world of shapes, that is. So let's go back into create a, let's say you just got maybe a weird cylindrical type of container. You can do that also. So these are set up right out of the gate to behave like they should as a fill volume. So another option, another easy way to kind of do that, just keep that in mind also. All right. So that's also, let me say this before I wrap this up. You can use this for testing. If you really just can't get your shape to work, try a really simple one from this method and just see if it actually works. And make sure you got all your file naming conventions right in the i3D file. Copy that code, like I said, from some other files that the Giants people have made themselves to, you know, emulate that. Just a couple things like that. Phew. Okay. Enough with the science stuff. I think we're done with that for now. All right, guys, I hope you found this helpful. Like I said, this had me bumping my head on the wall after for a little while trying to figure that out. So hopefully this finds you if you're looking for it and is helpful, and happy modding. So I hope you guys have a good day. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace.